Hi, I just love that tag that says it's Church at 434 in Motion, don't you? I mean, you got to hear that and see that, and the music's is there. So now you're expecting to get the latest release of what is going to be the next show for the Church at 434 in Motion. You're getting ready to enter a special series. This is an intro that we're creating just for the church release. We're getting ready to talk about the fear virus. And so there's a series of episodes that are coming up where we're going to talk about fear. These were created as a resource for Face the Fear, but we wanted to release them for you as well because you sometimes have to deal with fear, and there are other people out there that you know that have to deal with fear. And so we're getting ready to enter to what is a series of back-to-back releases that will come out on our regular release days that talk all about fear. And so we wanted you to know that. And so each day on the church release, on the Church 434 in Motion, you're going to hear this all over again. It's not a rerun. It's just me giving you the tag to let you know that as soon as I'm quiet, there's going to be a brand new screen that comes up to give you the title of the new episode, and we want you to enjoy it, and hopefully it's a great resource that will help you deal with the virus of fear in your own life, as well as helping others in their life. Okay, that's it. I'm done talking. Let's get on with the new episode. Hi, welcome to the Fear Virus. This is the Jesus episode. Yes! You knew eventually we were going to get to the Jesus episode, right? You knew we were eventually going to come back around and wrap up what our initial thoughts were about fear and having a holy, healthy terror and what you do with Jesus. We've talked about keeping him close and learning to see things differently, do things differently, hear things differently. We've talked about keeping in mind the big picture, getting rid of those monsters in your life, all those kind of things. But you also have to keep them very, very close. And we talked about that. Now let's come back to that idea for just a minute. This year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, whenever you're watching this, it's been a tough time. Our culture seems to be on fire in some ways. And it's, you can face life with the optimistic, the glass is always half full, or the pessimistic, well, glass is always half empty view of life. What I want you to do is I want you to get a Jesus view of life. And for that, you've got to have a clarity that comes from having a relationship with Jesus. There's no shortcut to that. That's a choice that you make. See, everything that we've talked about has been a choice, but all the choices we've talked about so far mean nothing if you don't know Jesus. You say, well, how can that happen? Well, it happens very quickly. You have to remember who Jesus was. Who Jesus was is someone who loved you enough to come to earth for you and was willing to pay a price for your sins. You say, well, I'm not that bad. I didn't say you were. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that I'm worse than you are. But at the end of the day, anything that we do that causes us to fall short of God's standards is sin. The mistakes, those moments that we wish that we could have back. And we need to be forgiven for those. Jesus is the one who forgives us. And so to do that, he paid a price for those sins by dying on the cross. It's the sacrifice that has to be made that pays the price for those shortcomings. Now, when Jesus died on the cross, he was buried, he paid the price for those sins, but then if that was it, then that's a one and done thing, and if that's all that happens, then gosh, anything that happened after Jesus died still needs to be forgiven. But Jesus came back from the dead. 3 days later, the Bible teaches us that he came back from the dead. He rose from the grave. The tomb was empty. The stone was rolled away. We celebrate this at Easter. We celebrate his birth at Christmas. We celebrate his resurrection at Easter. And we talk about things that happened in between that gives us the understanding of who Jesus is and what he's done. And so the question that you've got to deal with is, as we're kind of moving through this season, which is a fear season, a Halloween season, is are you a Easter season person or not? Because if you're an Easter season person, then you believe that Jesus is who he said he was and did what he said he came to do. You trust that what he did was big enough and more powerful than anything you could do on your own to achieve forgiveness with God. And then you decide that you're going to follow him because when you begin to understand in the Bible who Jesus is, he says 2 words, follow me. And so it's a choice of the will, a choice of the heart. You make it with your emotions, you make it with your head, you make it with all that you are, that you're going to believe and trust and follow Jesus, and you begin what is a journey where you relate to him. You begin to let him connect the dots in your life. You begin to grow, and what happens is he transforms you from the inside out. He changes you. You don't have to clean anything up to come to Jesus. You don't have to get anything right before you get right with God. You don't have to change any behavior. You do have to be willing to come to him and say, okay, I believe. I'm going to trust and I'm going to follow. And then allow that to change everything about you. Does it happen all at once? No. It tends to happen a little bit at a time, but you begin to change. And you also begin to discover that the more that you know him, the less afraid you are in life. And as you live a life that is focused on him and you begin to see and hear and do things through that lens that listens to, sees, and follows Jesus, you begin to have a life that's radically, radically different. At the bottom of the screen right now, there is an email address. It's my email address. It's my personal email address. And I would invite you to email me and simply say, Jeff, I heard you on your fear video. I heard this fear virus thing, and I've been struggling with fear. I would love to believe and trust and follow Jesus. I need some more information. Email me. I'll be happy to send you some stuff. Maybe you've done that. Maybe since you've been to Face the Fear, maybe you've been watching this and it's caused you to think about some other things. Maybe you've watched ahead and you've watched all the episodes now and you're here. You've already made a decision. I've made a decision to follow Jesus. I just need to know what happens next. Again, same email address. Send me an email. Let me know that. Let me have the opportunity to not only pray for you, but also to send you some stuff that would help. Maybe you're someone who's already made a decision to follow Jesus. Maybe you really are a follower of Jesus, but to be very honest, you've just been afraid. It has been a tough couple of years. And you're finding yourself being more driven by fear than you have been following Jesus, and you need for that to change. And maybe it could be as simple as, Jeff, I just need you to pray for me. I just need to know someone out there is praying for me right now because I want to get it right. If you'll send me an email and just say, pray for me. Let me know what's going on. I'd be happy to pray for you here at the church at 434. We have a team of people that would be happy to pray for you. And we want to make sure that you know that you're loved, that your life has purpose, that you can live a life of meaning, you can find freedom, and you can find forgiveness. And you can have a life that's worth living, where you can be fearless, living with less fear, and live a life where you're winning and you're finding victory in life, as opposed to life beating you up and getting the best of you. See, fear is a virus. Left unchecked, it'll run wild through you, it'll tear you up inside, it'll ruin everything around you. But you don't have to give in to that virus. And so, email me. Let me know what you're thinking and what you're doing. Hope you've enjoyed this series on the virus of fear. Hopefully something we said is helpful. If it's not, remember it was free. And if it was helpful, let us know that as well. We'd be happy to follow up with you any way that we can. Thanks for attending Face the Fear. Thanks for being our guest. If you want to know more about the church at 434, you can do that. Go to www.touchandchange.net. And there is a whole world of information out there. You can connect with us in a variety of ways. And we would love to invite you to do that as well. Until next time, take care. Don't let the fear virus get you. God bless.